Make sure to watch to the very end of this video so you don't miss any of my analysis on SoFi. If you guys want to pick up a free stock with Public, it's a great social investing network app that not only you can get a free stock with, but you also can follow some of your favorite investors, ourselves included, keep up to with what we're buying, what we're selling, and of course our thoughts on everything in the market. But other than that, guys, let's get right into this video. Alrighty guys, here we are with SoFi Technologies, ticker symbol SOFI. SoFi, of course, is a personal finance or a fintech company that's been making waves in the financial industry as of late. Their stock price has pulled back significantly from the highs that we saw not too long ago. If we go to 3-month chart here, we can see we went up to all the way about $23 a share, around the 20 range here, a little bit here, and we saw a three-shoulder pattern, or a head and shoulders pattern rather, and then we fell significantly back here down to about $15 a share. Now we're starting to reverse on that downtrend and starting to move upwards a little bit. It'll be interesting to see if we break these resistance levels. We're going to be looking more, of course, at the technical analysis in the later part of this video. But for now, we're going to be keeping a very close eye on what's going on with SoFi. Let's get into this article though that I found here on NASDAQ that I think provides some interesting insight into what this company could become in the coming year and even the coming years as this company continues to grow and operate. Again, this is a very, very new style company. They just recently went public and I'm very excited to see what this company does. But let's read this article and see what I agree with, what I disagree with, and I'll give my thoughts on it. Of course, SoFi Technology stock has all the earmarks of a fintech giant in the making. Interesting title. Let's read a little bit more. SoFi Technologies has a balance gone in, oh wow, I messed that up. Stock has on balance gone nowhere in 2021. It also potentially the Amazon of fintech space. That's a bold claim. Let's read a little bit more. That's because SoFi is two companies. One is the customer-facing bank and brokerage firm, the one with the ads reading save, spend, earn, borrow, and invest, all in one app. The second is a subsidiary called Galileo, which lets banks and brokers compete with SoFi through application program interfaces or APIs. APIs are powerful things. They're why Zoom video continues to gain strength and why Twilio is more than it appears. APIs are hooks that let consumers do what another company does. What you can't, video conferencing in the case of Zoom, telephony, wow, in the case of Twilio. So basically what it does with these APIs is it allows kind of third-party consumers to interact with their proprietary software and to potentially use it, of course, in order to do something else. It's a kind of a gateway, if you will, to other means of doing things, basically, just kind of in general. Interesting point there, and I do think that Galileo, as far as concerning SoFi, is a great kind of two-pronged approach that this business has. Let's read a little bit more. SoFi bought Galileo in April 2020 for $1.2 billion. At the time, Galileo was termed a payment processor. By 2020, Galileo had been around for a decade, mostly connecting small banks to payment networks like Visa so they could brand their own credit cards. Galileo took the deal to expand into other areas of banking and brokerage. With a lot of that software work now complete, Galileo is ready to grow under the SoFi banner. Founder Clay Wilkes has been moved up to vice chairman and member of the SoFi board. Derek White has been recruited from Alphabet, Google, where he was vice president of global financial services at Google Cloud, to be Galileo's CEO. White's experience gives him a deep knowledge of where the problems are in insurance, brokerage, and banking. He knows the players. Banks, brokers, and insurers will want to use Galileo's API for the same reason merchants might want to sell through Amazon. It's a lower cost solution. All they need to do is sell. Galileo is using these customers to grow its software and computing infrastructure, just as Amazon used third-party sellers to grow its store operations, wholesale and retail. Galileo will do the wholesale business while SoFi itself does the retail. None of the work is yet reflected in the SoFi stock price. The company next reports August 12th, with analysts expecting a small loss, 5 cents per share, and revenue of $237 million. Even if SoFi hits analyst revenue estimates of $981 million for all of 2020, you're paying over 12 times sales. That's rich for a bank. And the rest of this article basically talks about some of the other things involving their upcoming earnings stuff and just what they're planning on reporting and what analysts are expecting. We'll read the bottom line here just to get a detailed kind of summary of what the overall article is basically trying to say. You don't have to rush into SoFi. Its financial performance means it will probably bounce around a little. On August 4th, the stock was getting a small lift from the Square purchase of Afterpay, adding nearly 10% overnight, but that should fade quickly. It's irrelevant to the SoFi investment case. It is possible that we all have this wrong. Don't throw any money at SoFi you can't afford to lose. That's the article, by the way. That's not me saying that. I'm not a financial advisor, and none of this is in financial advice or a financial recommendation or an investment recommendation, just so you guys know. This is speculation that might not pay off right away, but the management looks right, the technology looks ready, so the time to buy. Wow, that's a very strong statement. On the data publication, Dana Blankenhorn held long positions in Amazon. The opinions expressed in this article are those of the writer. Basically, you get the gist of it. So basically what this article is saying is that there is a very bullish sentiment overall right now with SoFi, and the overall case from a fundamental standpoint is there. There's a lot of good information coming out. There's a lot of good numbers that SoFi is managing to put up. And overall, there's a lot of good numbers being cranked out by SoFi right now. I'm incredibly impressed from my own perspective. I actually have a few shares of SoFi myself. I'm buying on the dips right now. We are kind of on a little bit of an upward trend. I would not be surprised if SoFi does pull back in about 2 days or maybe a day or so. And we see, like they said in the article, a little bit of bouncing around. There could be a little bit of stagnation here for maybe a week or two, maybe even a month or even more at most. But again, I don't think that's lasting for a long time. I think that we are going to start seeing possibly a upward trend here in the later part of the year. We're going to be watching that very closely though, because again, that could totally reverse and we could go back lower depending on the technicals and what's going on there. But fundamentally, this company makes a lot of sense, and as a long-term growth stock that I am pretty bullish on, I'm happy with it, and I'm planning on buying more shares and continuing to average down on my position. Let's get into a little bit of the technical analysis here, just to end the video off. Here's SoFi Technologies on the 1-day, 1-minute chart. This is what we saw in the last intraday trading session. As you can see, we started the day off with a nice run here to about the $16 range and 80-cent level. Pulled back after profit takers, more than likely, just too much, not enough to hold that kind of area or position. And then we just kind of continued to uptrend for the rest of the day, ending the day at about $16.79. If we pull back even further, we can see that there was kind of a stagnation period going on with SoFi for not too long. We'll pull it to the 1 month so we get a better idea. As you can see, a little bit of a downtrend here, and now SoFi was consolidating for a while, going up significantly here, but kind of pulling back just as much, and really not doing too much in the huge gains, kind of realm of operation that this stock, a lot of people are expecting to do. Now we're seeing a nice, solid, steady upward trend. Whether or not this breaks off this resistance level here at 1679, right around here, again, we'll have to see. That's going to take some time, that might not be necessarily the case, but we are getting very close here. The next intraday trading session would be a great way to tell whether or not this stock is going to break through this resistance level and continue to go higher. Let's pull out just a little bit wider here to 6 months. This is where we saw that huge run up kind of right in the middle of the or a significant amount rather after the IPO, and then a significant pullback. Again, we have pulled back significantly from these highs, so that's why I'm doing a lot of buying down here, because in my mind these are still relatively cheap prices, especially when the RSI dips below the 30 level. I always love using that to plan my entries, and I always love using that just to tell when a stock, of course, is overbought or oversold. We're going to be watching this very closely, guys. One of my favorite growth stocks definitely right now. But other than that, guys, that is pretty much it for SoFi. I hope you your thumbs up today. Please like the video, subscribe if you're new, hit the notification bell so you never miss a new video like this. If you guys want to get a free stock with Public, check out our link down in the description below. When you guys sign up with Public, not only are you supporting the channel, but you also can get a free stock of a great selection of companies, and you can follow us on there, keep up with what we're buying, what we're selling, and our thoughts on the current market situation. But other than that, guys, that is all I have for you guys today. I'm Kyle with Finance Bro. Take it easy.